The judiciary comes down hard on erring judicial officers in a bid to sanitize the nation's justice system. As the National Assembly resumes, we look at its to-do list and the low-hanging fruits of critical legislation. INEC took its bimodal voters accreditation system BVAS to test in Delta State over the weekend. How did it perform, and is it here to stay? Also on Political Updates today, we'll look at legislation for development, the concept and the contradiction. I'm Fisayo Ogunfuyi. Welcome. The Chief Justice of the Federation, Justice Tanko Mohammed, has ordered the FCT Judicial Service Commission to initiate disciplinary action against Upper Area Court Judge Justice Hussaini Yusuf Baba for issuing criminal summons against the Anambra State APGA governorship candidate Chukwuma Soludo.
The directive is part of the determination of Justice Mohammed, who is also the chairman of National Judicial Council, to put an end to impunity and misconduct in the judiciary. In an exclusive telephone interview by the NTA, the Director of Information in the National Judicial Commission, Soji Oye, confirmed the directive by the Chief Justice of Nigeria. The Upper Area Court Judge, Justice Hussaini Yusuf Baba, on 23rd August 2021, issued a direct criminal summons against Soludo over alleged perjury, corruption and false assets declaration, which is completely outside the jurisdiction of the Upper Area Court. It would be recalled that Justice Ibrahim Tanko Mohammed had met with the chief judges of FCT, Rivers, Kebbi, Cross River, Jigawa, Anambra and Imo states on Monday, September 6, 2021, and directed some of them to admonish the judges in their jurisdictions on the danger of granting ex parte injunctions. The acting chief judge of the Federal Capital Territory is expected to submit his findings to the Chief Justice of Nigeria within 21 days.
And still on the judiciary, the Court of Appeal says it will nip in the board on any unethical practices amongst its judicial officers. The president of the court, Justice Monica Dongbam Mensem, gave the indication at the commencement of the 2021 legal year of the Appellate Court.
This inspection of a parade of colors mounted in honor of the President's Court of Appeal, Justice Monica Dongbam Mensem, and other justices signals the commencement of the 2021 legal year at the Appellate Courts. And with the ceremonies over, the important business of the day begins. Firing the first shot, the President of the Court of Appeal outlines successes recorded by the various divisions of the courts in the last legal year, despite challenges posed by COVID-19.
This week, the court will conduct special sittings of justices to help us further decongest the Abuja division and enhance its optimal functionality.
Touching on the uproar generated by the recent ex parte orders granted by some courts, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, SAN, admonishes judicial officers to ensure their actions deepen public confidence in the judiciary.
I respectfully urge my lords to maintain the sanctity and credibility of the court and to ensure that the sacred integrity reposed on your lordships remains unshaken.
When we talk about judges, let's also talk about we lawyers who carry these matters to court because we've been paid to do these matters.
In the last legal year, 5,092 appeals and 9,249 motions were entertained across the 20 divisions of the appellate courts. Out of these, 3,111 appeals were disposed of, including 528 judgments delivered via the online platforms.
Judiciary to the legislature now. The National Assembly reconvened today after 2 months of its annual recess. Today's session was adjourned in honor of the departed member representing Akure South and Akure North, Honorable Isaac Omolafe Adedayo, popularly known as Expensive, who died in August. Many keen monitors of the nation's legislative arm expect this resumption to trigger a flurry of legislative activities in the two chambers. The reception and consideration of the 2022 appropriation bills is one of the key items on the to-do list. NTA sampled the expectations of the lawmakers ahead of today's resumption.
Thursday, July 15, 2021 was the last plenary before the Senate embarked on its 2021 annual recess, while that of the House of Representatives was the next day, being 16th. Both chambers had considered and passed the Petroleum Industry and the Electoral Act Amendment bills. 2 months after, both chambers are set to reconvene on Tuesday, with all departments of the National Assembly bracing up for legislative activities. Reception of the 2022 budget from Mr. President and accelerated consideration of the ongoing constitutional amendment are expected to receive immediate attention.
Immediately will resume on Tuesday will be that of the budget 2022. We'll be looking forward to hearing from the President the date he would come to address the joint session of the National Assembly and present his bill, the 2022 appropriation bill.
We are working around the air to make sure that nothing stops us from maintaining these, the 12-month budget cycle, January to December, unlike what was applicable before we came on board. So we're very much ready.
Before we went on recess, we were already working on the constitutional review, and it has gotten to a point that right now the Senate and the House of Rep we are harmonizing, the two positions. So I expect that too will be concluded.
The National Assembly is also expected to continue with legislative interventions on national security.
There's a lot of issues around security, and there will be efforts from various senators to see how we can contribute our own quota.
We'll be also facing issues of security now that our security forces have gathered a lot of momentum and a lot of successes have been achieved in terms of the war against terrorism, banditry, and abductions.
This is the first time in more than 18 years that the National Assembly will be reconvening from its annual recess without the Petroleum Industry Bill forming part of its to-do list.
And thanks, Ignatius. In accord with that report, joining us now is the spokesman of the Federal House of Representatives, the Chairman House Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Honorable Benjamin Okezie Kalu. He represents the good people of Bende, Federal Constituency of Abia State. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me here.
All right, Nigerians will say, okay, our lawmakers are back. But we have to ask you, are our lawmakers back, refreshed and better?
Of course, the purpose of having a retreat in anything you do is to be able to jump one step backward to enable you to jump 2 steps forward. The activities of the National Assembly, they are very tasking. So whenever the opportunity calls, we usually go rest a little bit, which affords you the opportunity of not just being on holidays, but to engage with your constituents, to do needs analysis, visit some of the people who voted for you, to know where it is biting them, what are the society's dynamic, how you left it before the holidays may not be how you will find it when you go back. So engage with the stakeholders, do your stakeholders mapping, try and find out what is the problem, get feedback from them after your town hall meeting so that when you come back, it will inform your representative activities in the House. So that is what we did during this recess, and I can assure you we are fired up. We started working, some of us started 7 a.m. this morning with interviews and all the rest of them. But just like you pointed out, today we resumed, but the plenary did not hold in honor of our colleague who passed on, and that is our tradition. Most members of the National Assembly have highlighted some of the things that will be on the front burner as we resume starting from tomorrow. Yes, the Electoral Act that is being amended,
A lot of people have been asking question, what is the next step after now? And as you are aware, because we practice bicameral legislature, there is a room for conference committee when we have maybe issues that we could not agree on, section 58 sub 2 for our own and section 58 sub 3 on the side of the Senate. So what we usually do is to bring the two perspectives on this particular issue and see how we cross the T's and dot the I's in a reflective manner of what Nigerians hunger, desire, and needs.
All right, let's start this part of the conversation this way. You ended, or you went on holidays on what many people will say on the high because of, the pieces of legislature that legislation that came out in that few weeks. We had the Electoral Amendment and, of course, the PIA as well. What new thing? What key interventions are we expecting now that you have resumed that will also raise the ante?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for acknowledging that the National Assembly did well before going on that well-deserved rest. As we're coming back, I know the expectation of Nigeria is up there. And like you asked, what are you going to be expecting? You're going to be expecting conference committee coming out with the final report on the Electoral Act Amendment Bill and getting it prepared for the President's assent very, very soon. We don't want it to be caught up with, electioneering campaign that is not going to be far from now to start in various political parties with their primaries. So we want to get that out of the way. Another one that we're going to be looking at is the constitutional review. Constitutional review is going on, like you know, and under the leadership of the deputy speaker of the House. They've done tremendously well. They have traversed the nooks and crannies of this state as allowed by the provisions of the Constitution in reviewing the Constitution to harvest the opinion, through memoranda from the citizens on what they want us to adjust in the Constitution. And it is not an overnight task. It will take a while because we are going to be involving the various governors with the Houses of Assembly. Two-third majority of the House of Assembly need to assent.
To make presentations, or you have made your consultations?
No, we have gone around to harvest. But the process,
those committees that went round.
Yeah, they've gone round, and but the next stage is that they have to give a nod to whatever we are bringing on board, and two-third Senate, two-third House of Rep, two-third House of Assembly. So it's a lot of work. But you see, Nigerians want us to get this out as quickly as possible, but we are not going to sacrifice quality on the altar of speed. So we are going to make sure there is a marriage between speed and quality, so that at the end of the day, what we have, being dished out to Nigerians, which will reflect their longing, will reflect their hunger for a change in the Constitution. So we are working, and many people have asked this question, when are we looking at? Whether we'll finish it in this third year, or we'll finish it in the next coming year, let Nigerians be rest assured that we are taking it seriously and that time is of the essence, and we are going to make sure that we handle it before it gets to the next assembly. That's what we're promising.
Okay, let me come in with a few things. The mathematics and arithmetic of the appropriation bill 2022. How will you be looking at that in line with what you and your colleagues started last year in terms of maintaining the January-December budget cycle? Because of course, as we speak, we just have about 3 months for that as well.
Yeah, we didn't start it last year. We started 2 years ago. We only made sure that we did it back to back last year. Yes. So this is going to be the third time. So we did 2020, 2021, yes. And this is going to be the 2022. And it's in line with the provisions of the Constitution that it should run from January to December. This ninth assembly is proactive, so we decided we must comply with the provisions of the Constitution. And in order for us to achieve that, we need to plan well. Planning well means partnering with the executives where necessary to make sure we get the necessary document that will form the strategic tool in preparing the budget in this appropriation bill, getting it early. Because if you don't get it early, it's going to affect you. And the timing is, and what am I referring to? I'm referring to the MTEF. The MTEF has been, as you are aware, have been submitted by the executive, by the president on the 8th of July of this year. And the Finance Committee, I must commend them, of the House. They sacrificed a large part of their research to be able to look into this. In fact, they started having an interactive section from the 16th of August to the 26th of August, going through what assumptions that have been used, the parameters that have been used, and begin to know whether it reflects the mood of the nation at the moment, and pick holes if there is, and also see if we'll be able to close the gaps with the appropriation bill that is coming up.
All right, well, let's take one report before we come into, legislation and representation shortly. Over the weekend, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, tested its much talked about bimodal voters accreditation system, BVAS, in Isoko South State Assembly elections. Let's recap the experiment.
Various polling units visited were seen carrying out their functions. The electorate described the process as peaceful.
You can see that the election is very peaceful.
We do everything normal for this unit 6.
Some made reservations concerning the new added system, the bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS device, working simultaneously with the old practice of accreditation.
Initially, we had challenges with the machine. Some are running slow.
The INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner, REC, Pastor Monday Udotom, said the challenge with the BVAS machine was just a minor one. He, however, commended it.
The machine BVAS, I can say out of 84, only 4 there were serious issues. And those serious issues areas we made attempt to bring once replacement.
While some party candidates agree the election was most peaceful, they say it was not devoid of vote buying and other ugly practices.
All right, we initially wanted to get in Barrister May Agbomuche Mbu. She's the INEC National Commissioner South, but we will do that in the course of the week because it's been tested. Want to know exactly whether it has come to stay, especially as the Anambra governorship election is around the corner. Now let's go to the issues of constituencies. Let's start this way. First of all, a lot of people get excited when people of the younger generation get a chance at representation as this. What has been the response from your people in terms of representation? And of course, you just alluded to the fact that you went back home. How was it, and are you coming back with a box load of requests at the National Assembly?
Oh, definitely. Let me start with young people being given a chance. And I happen to be one of those youths who started agitating for a space to participate in leadership. I started in 2001. We're talking about 20 years ago. And that time I was one of those people that were told, you are good enough to do this, you are educated, you are loved by the people, but you cannot because you are too young. So I was one of those people that not too young to run bill also was speaking for at that time. But it was not in existence in 2001. Some of the people who agitated for it were in school at that time. But I persisted for 17 years until I was given the chance to be in this position. And I have tried to ensure, and daily I am still trying, to make sure that the constituency that I represent, the young people who had confidence in me, that I'll show them that we have a lot to offer. Young people have a lot to offer in this country, just like they are offering all across the globe. And if you go to my federal constituency, I'm not sure you have enough time on this program to be able to showcase what we have done in 24 months with the support of the man who assented to the not too young to run bill. Many people think President Buhari just assented to that bill and left it there. President Buhari picked some of us who are young, and he's giving us a whole lot of support. I have represented him various occasions, to take care of various issues. And he has also made sure that issues affecting my constituency was given priority attention. And maybe when I have the time to do a documentary to showcase to Nigerians, you'll be amazed the kind of support I've received.
Especially through the NTA.
Maybe through the NTA, because it's national television. I must say that the presidency has supported my position. I'm one of those who have benefited from Not Too Young to Run, and the projects that we have in our constituency goes a long way to show that. So those young people who are there should have confidence that we have a lot to offer when given the position. If you are focused, if you carry the people, if you make it all about the people and not about you and your fancy cars and your convoy and the policemen who run around you, this is not what leadership is all about. Leadership is all about analyzing the needs of the people that have been placed upon your shoulders, carrying it boldly to Abuja and pushing for solution to those hydra-headed needs. And this is what I have tried to register my name on, and it is working. I'm carrying their loads, and we're getting attention, and those attention is reflecting on how we add our quota. We may not solve all the problem at once, but as a young man as well, I have ensured that we write our name as young people in gold. Not that the old ones don't have anything to offer. They have a lot of experience to learn from, and that is why I keep them as advisors, and that is why I keep them very close, and that is why I respect them massively. And their counsel has always been productive in making sure that I'm well guided. The journey, has it been tough? Very tough. Have it been rewarding? Very rewarding. Is it something that my people should be proud of? You ask them. Because I know.
But before I let you go, are we seeing younger people also coming up, especially in your area, now saying that, okay, he can do it, I can do it as well?
Of course, that is what this is all about, to motivate more people to participate. In fact, I'm starting a school, a leadership school, that is only targeting the young people to teach them how to rise by the round. Some people who are young want to handle it as if it's garbage in, garbage out. In leadership, no, you are groomed, you are mentored, you follow those who have been there. I have followed some of my leaders for 17 years, not departing to the right or departing to the left.
That means you are no longer really a youth.
Yeah, well, of course, I'm 50 years old. I'm not, but I started early, but I'm no longer, you can't classify me as being very young.
You're young at heart, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm young at heart. And carrying the principle that incorporate the young people, those who work for me in my office, you see a pool of young people, and they have a lot to offer. They are creative, they're innovative, and they have energy, and that is what I'm leveraging. And any leadership that believes in the youth, the energy of the youth, the creativity of the youth, the innovation of the youth, will go a very long way in satisfying the passion of the people, knowing fully well that the youth occupy a segment in this country, in our population, that is the biggest. You remember what they did with the NSAS issues, see how energetic they were, how organized before it was bastardized. If they put that energy into development, into leadership, I can assure you, no state will be able to stand them. If they want to make the governor of my state and the youth come together and they say they want a youth to be there, it will happen. If they want to do that in Lagos, it will happen. Any state that the youth wakes up and say we want to take over, I can assure you there is no energy that will be strong enough to stop them.
All right, for the past half hour, we've been speaking with Honorable Kalu, representing the people of Benin. The Federal Constituency of Abia State is also the spokesman of the Federal House of Representatives, as well as the Chairman, House Committee on Media and Public Affairs. Many thanks for coming. Many thanks for joining us on NTA's Eclectic Political Ensemble, where we serve you as it is and we give you the very best of political news, reviews, previews, and interviews. My name is Fisayo Ogunfuyi. Thanking you for staying tuned, urging you to enjoy the rest of the week on the Nigerian Television Authority. God willing, we'll be back on Friday. Bye-bye now.
is an evil net that traps the innocent and the guilty.
War is a wildfire that spreads beyond the quenching efforts of men.
The weak, the strong, the rich, the poor, even the unborn will have no hiding place.
Tribes and tongues and religions will no longer make any meaning at all.
Knowledge will fail you. The economy will be grounded. Your political connections will be useless. And life in general will be stranded if not ended.
Manipulators, troublemakers, and table shakers will not be exempted.
That is why we must make peace the only option in Nigeria.
Join us in one love to preach peace in all the 36 states in Nigeria, including the FCT.
For peaceful engagements through town hall meetings, rallies, and unity concerts. Remember, the two strongest warriors are patience and time.
Make peace the only option now.
This message is brought to you by the Ambassador of Voice for Change Initiative, supported by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, and the Federal Capital Territory.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Without a doubt, the ongoing pandemic continues to have devastating implications for the fashion industry, but productivity persists. Designers are releasing modified collections targeted at various audiences. This month alone has recorded several exciting new collections, and today we're going to be highlighting something for everyone. Welcome to your weekly survey of style and culture across the globe. My name is Onyeka Chioba, and this is Today's Style. On the show today, Queen T Fashion Empire champions inclusivity and craftsmanship.
I like to be comfortable, I like to be classy, I like to be elegant.
Nelson, Allison, and Minjin front Fresh by Dotun's twofold collection, lavish and sophisticate. 3 and 4 Fashion releases a new collection and lookbook titled Clothes Are Wondrous Too. Ghanaian designer Sima Brew releases a bridal series, Utopia. Luxury children's wear brand Farah and Omar launches a dreamy debut collection. Our first stop today is at the Royal Court of Queen T. The stylish entrepreneur has built an impressive fashion empire, and she's granted us a Today's Style exclusive.
My name is Celestina Ibe, and people normally call me Tina or T. So that is where the T came from, and the Queen came from this one.
Tina Ibe is an utmost perfectionist.
It's hard not to be when you have an impeccable eye for style and detail. Her foray into fashion design began with a problem many plus-size women like herself often face: a limited number of options when it comes to clothes that fit comfortably and still look stylish. Spending close to 2 decades abroad, she also missed the colorful indigenous fabrics native to Nigeria. Upon her return, she picked up the technical skills of fashion design, bringing a refined eye to designing colorful pieces for plus-size women, before branching out into clothes for women of all sizes.
Because I was there and we don't have it much there, I started falling in love with prints, with our fabric. I decided, okay, I would run my own fashion line so I can get and fit into whatever I want. Not that sometimes you can get everything you want, but there's